Welcome everyone to Sideshow Live. Look at that, sold out crowd here today, guys. We have an awesome show lined up for you today. So first up, we're gonna be taking a look at the new Green Arrow Premium format figure from project manager, Mr. Mike Tolentino. So I'm very excited about that. Also in studio, a living legend in the makeup world, Miss Ve Neill, who I'm sure you'll recognize as soon as you see her, and Tom Gilliland, Chief Creative Officer. They are in the house, and our very own Anna Van Slee will be sitting down to chat with them. Next up, we're gonna be checking out a brand new set of 6 scale figures from our friends over at Hot Toys. I'm very excited about that, and I know you will be too. And then last, but certainly not least, we're gonna be taking a look at some entries from our Let Your Kid Sideshow Challenge. We're gonna announce the winner, and we're gonna learn about this week's Let Your Kid Sideshow Challenge. So much great stuff for you guys today. Let's get after it, shall we? All right, right now we're gonna go into our featured collector. All right, let's take a look at our featured collector. It is Miss Jacqueline Woodward. If you take a look at that collection right there, you see some Wonder Woman, you see a Poison Ivy, a little in the corner, you see a 1989 Joker, quite possibly my favorite figure in that collection. So much good stuff. Jacqueline Woodward, congratulations. If you would like a chance to be our featured collector, please visit our Sideshow blog, which is at side.show/blog. All right, we are going to take a quick video break. But when we return, my guest host, Mr. Josh S., all right, Josh Squared, he's gonna be chatting with Mr. Mike Tolentino about the brand new premium format, so stay tuned, a lot of show coming at you.
Welcome back, guys. I'm Josh Shada. In the studio, we have Green Arrow and Mike Tolentino. Mike, thanks so much for joining us. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're super excited. Can you tell us a little bit about this awesome figure?
All right, so this is our Green Arrow PF, and as you can see, he is loaded for war.
Wow.
What's cool about this one is, well, with every statue that we want to do, we want to tell a story. So we don't have a full comic book, so we just want to tell it right quick.
Sure.
So what we did is we've put him in the docks. We have Star City, let's say.
Wow.
And he's made it to his little arrow cache. He's got, I think it's 18 little arrow shafts here.
Wow.
On the base.
He's set up to
He is
go.
set up, yeah. He is, a lot of people are gonna get pointy things put into them. He's got his bow. What's cool, this is actually the arms of the bow are made out of metal, which is cool.
Really? Wow.
Yep, and it's real string there.
That is impressive.
So.
Such an epic piece.
Yes, oh, and then some other cool things. So this little guy, let me get that right back.
Let me see that.
Which one? Which one do I want? All right. So he's got all these little contraptions, little gas arrowheads, and this little guy is the exclusive punching glove.
Oh my gosh.
That goes with his exclusive classic Errol Flynn looking head.
That is so cool. Wow, I really want one of these. Afterward, can you kind of give me the details on how I can get one of these?
Yeah, you just have this one.
Oh, I can just have one? Wow.
What do I care, right?
The power that this guy has just to make decisions like that. Like, oh,
It's like Ellen.
just give the kid one. It's fine. Totally
If you
good.
look under your chair, you'll
Oh.
find your Green Arrow. One of the cool features that we added on this in production is these can actually close. If
Wow. Well, who would want it if it didn't close? You need to close.
well, yeah. So you can have it. Oh, it's hidden. Oh no, it's exposed.
That's awesome.
You just have to remove him from the base before you close this one.
Got it.
Just
Got it.
FYI, so no breaking at home.
Yes, exactly. The base is so detailed. What's some of the design choices and reasons behind the base and the way that it is? Because I know you talked about a lot of things being on cityscape.
Yeah, a lot
and
of
this one is
rooftops.
different.
Sideshow's famous for the rooftops. If you line out all the bases, I think we have like a city block of
Wow.
of resin bases. So what we did is we wanted to throw him somewhere different. So put him in the, like I said, the Star City docks. He was just out there, and it's cool because it's like how he's a planner. So everything out there in Star City could be part of Arrow's little base, his little arrow hiding holes.
I love it. He's got a hideout in plain sight, really.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Fantastic. Is there any fun Easter eggs incorporated into this model that we would like to know about?
The punching glove, like I said, the exclusive punching glove is nice and fun. That's just to harken back to the classic, his exclusive.
That's so cool.
Before he became all broody. Let me see if we can take that off.
Pop that bad boy off.
There.
Wow, that
And
looks
then,
so nice.
ready to have your mind blown?
I'm so ready for my mind to be blown.
Got it. This can fit on to here.
What? Oh my gosh. That'll hit you like a fist to the face, that's
will.
for sure.
Now, I'm not the right angle to do this, so forgive me.
My mind's already blown that even attached like that. I did not see that coming.
Boom.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Wow. Well, I mean, this is fantastic. And if anyone wants to check this out, you can go to side.show/Green Arrow PF, and this is available for pre-order now. So you're gonna want to hop on this soon because these are gonna go by fast.
Exactly. And this is a early production sample, so this is pretty much what the customers will be receiving.
Wow.
So this paint quality, this everything like this is what you will be unboxing yourself.
And what's the time frame to kind of, in the creator standpoint, to take something from just an idea and bring it to life as it is here?
So this piece has been about 2 years in the making.
2 years,
So
wow.
you do, when the design team starts to draw, if that's when the clock starts, we'll get a final design. All the little bits and pieces, we'll do different pose studies, different costume designs, everything like that will get whittled down into the final design choice.
Wow.
We'll take that and we sculpt it. And then we'll take that and then we print it. Then we mold and cast it. Then we paint it, we have it prototyped. Then once it's prototyped, that's about a year. And then usually you see those prototypes out at Comic-Con and we reveal them on the websites.
Yes.
Then after that, I take it overseas and we manufacture there. And that's another year. And I do all that again.
Wow. I mean, there's so much work that goes into it, and you're so passionate about it. This is just so exciting, and I'm really happy that we got this piece on here today. Guys, check it out. Again, fantastic. Thanks so much for coming on the show,
no
Mike.
problem. Thank you for
really
having me.
appreciate it. Also, coming up, we have Anna Van Slee. She's going to be interviewing Ve Neill and Tom Gilliland live in our studio. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it.
got a very exciting special guest in the studio here with us this morning live, the legendary and award-winning makeup artist, Ve Neill. Thanks for joining us, Ve. Let me tell you a little bit about Ve's career, because you're probably familiar with some of the films that she worked on. And when I say award-winning, I mean Academy Award-winning. She has not one, not two, but 3 Academy Awards. I've got a list here so I don't forget. Ed Wood, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Beetlejuice. So amazing films.
Thank you.
You might also recognize some of her work from LBJ, the Hunger Games trilogy, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Blow, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, Batman Returns, Hook, Edward Scissorhands, The Lost Boys, personal favorite of mine.
Love The Lost
and
Boys.
Laser Blast. And that's just a small sampling of some of the films that you've worked on. Amazing. Thank you for joining us
Thank
this
you
morning.
for having me.
Oh, you bet.
Now, in the latest chapter of Ve's amazing career, she's Director of Education at Cinema Makeup School. And she has an exciting announcement to share with us this morning about that.
Yes, I do. You want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Cinema Makeup School and Sideshow are going to be partnering on doing one of the Court of the Dead characters, and that is Cleopsis. And she's awesome, and she's going to be brought to life. Hopefully, we'll do her justice.
We are so
doubt
excited and
there.
honored that you picked a Court of the Dead character, and that's why we also have Tom Gilliland here with us in the studio. You all know Tom. He's our Chief Creative Officer and the creator of the Court of the Dead. Thank you, Tom, for joining us. Awesome. So, in the lead up to Comic-Con, when people will get to see both online, and hopefully if you're lucky enough to be at the show, you can come by a Cinema Makeup's booth and see Cleopsis transform in person. But I wanted the chance to talk to you guys about character creation and Cleopsis, since you both come from very different mediums. I'd like to start with asking you just what attracted you to the Court of the Dead and Cleopsis in particular, because we have so many different characters in that world.
Well, you know, I remember when you guys premiered the Court of the Dead at Comic-Con, and I was in that little gallery room, and I was going from pedestal to pedestal, and each one was more fantastic than the next, and I was just like, I mean, I couldn't keep my eyes off them. I didn't want to leave the room. Everybody was, you know, every character was so engaging, you know, and so different. And I didn't have a clear memory of what character, you know, when we had discussed it at the school that we were going to do one. And then my court in crime, Lee Joyner, who's the director of admissions, says, well, what about Cleopsis? And I said, well, let me look her up. So I looked her up and I said, oh hell yeah. She's the one. And I was like, wow, yeah, I mean, she has everything, you know, she's...
That's a good design. I was really delighted to hear that's what you chose. So,
yeah,
We're super
she's awesome.
excited. So, since I have you both, let's talk a little bit about character creation. Tom, can you tell us a little bit when you were designing Cleopsis and you're designing a character for, you know, premium art prints and statuary and novels and storytelling as well? Where do you get started with that? Is it mood boards or sketches or?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, there's a bit of a kind of a projection, kind of, you know, like a little imagination hit trip you kind of go on, as I think you kind of go through your sort of mental Rolodex of, you know, imagery or whatnot. And I think you kind of start with what the nucleus of the character you're trying to figure out is. So in the case of Cleopsis, it was like, well, this is an entity that, you know, really had kind of a very big picture kind of presence for the underworld in the moral realm or whatnot, and had been sort of instrumental in kind of helping the moral world elevate itself, and then the rug was pulled out from under her. So it was like, okay, well, how can we achieve something that has that sense of both the grandeur of what she was on her way to achieving and what the tragedy of what befell her looks like. So working that back was, you know, looking for things that would give a sense of, you know, ancient mortal world history before even the history we understand to be our history existed, right? So a kind of pre-era or whatnot. So there's aspects of the costume that kind of reflect that. People have often said, well, she like come from Egypt, and it's like, no, she predates Egypt by thousands of years. And so this is something that kind of echoed
But
forward.
she does
or
have
whatnot.
that kind of feel to her, which is
Oh,
kind of
100%.
neat. I mean,
So
everybody
there's-
loves that anyway.
Well, you
so
look for
it's-
touchstones, right?
Yeah.
So there's always the fantastic with the familiar, and I think the familiarity that you can find things that give people something to attach
So you have
to.
to relate, something you can relate to.
Well,
yeah.
character credibility, then,
Yeah,
right? In the
exactly.
visuals, and then
Yeah.
in the performance, and then I think everything else kind of falls behind that.
The building on archetypes that people
Yeah.
recognize. I forgot to mention we are taking questions from you. So if you have a question for V or for Tom, please submit them in chat to Bree, and we'll get to those at the end of the interview. My next question is for you, V. So when you're taking a character that's already existed, in paintings and in statuary, but obviously is very static, and so some of the constraints of moving muscles and gravity don't necessarily come into play. What are some of the concerns and considerations that you bring to the table when you're translating, a product or statuary into like an actual living, character?
Well, if any of you know what Cleopsis looks like, she has a lot of gear on. So
She does.
she's pretty amazing. She has a giant headdress. She has a staff in one hand. She's carrying some kind of strange lit up snake in the other hand. And then she also has a removable mask. So it's like, okay, so, she might need an extra arm. So now we have to create characters to walk around with her to make sure that, people get out of the way, number one. But I don't think we're going to have much trouble with that when she starts walking
part
around.
crowd pretty easily.
But we have to take into consideration like how much these things are going to weigh. How do we attach the hair that's coming out the back because she has those giant dreadlocks.
Yep.
What do we make her costuming out of? Do we make it all out of leather? Do we make it out of pieces of the EVA foam? I mean, what do we do? So we actually kind of had to take into consideration and what do we make her prosthetics out of? I really refer to Lee a lot because he's our head sculptor, and we started talking about it, and we thought, well, maybe we should do her face out of silicone. We'll do the rest of the pieces on her body out of foam. And I said, you know what? She's an ancient. Silicone to me always has like some sort of moistury look or something. And I said, you know what? It's got to be foam because it has to look.
The old classic.
Yeah,
sure.
like she has to
A
look
little more mummified
decimated.
or whatnot.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
has to be like a kind of like a mummy, And I said, and that always, it's like zombies always look better when they're made
Yep.
out of foam because they don't have that slick look to them. So, and plus the fact that all the pieces of the costuming, if started rubbing on silicone, I mean, she'd fall apart immediately because she's just got too much
Well, so
gear
much
on
heavier,
everywhere,
too.
And she does have. There's lots of pieces of her body that we're not
They're
going to
peeking out.
cover
Yep.
up. We're going to use that crepey, droopy
Yep.
skin that she's got like, it's so creepy looking and cool. And so she's going to have a lot of body parts showing. So we had to take into consideration all these things. But a lot of her like body armor will be made out of leather because we want it to look realistic and we want it to be, cool and all that. So she's going to have elements of everything in her, But I think she's going to be amazing. I mean, we can't wait to do
Well, this is
her.
the exciting part because
Yeah.
I know what you can do, and but keeping it in the blind has been exciting because it's like, well, we can look at the parts as they go or whatnot, but it's like, no, how about we just let it happen and and get the sort of audience surprise shock at the end too.
Well, we
So-
have been filming bits and pieces of it.
I know, but I've been sort of purposely making sure not to you eat all the popcorn in the lobby, so to speak. So.
I think you're going to be very pleased.
Oh, I'm
I mean,
delighted and honored to be doing it.
Lee's, he's been working on the face, and he's just finished the sculpt on the mask.
It just showed me that, so I did get that peek behind the curtain.
And
that
what's
looked
really
terrific.
cool is our model, Tasha Wheaton, was actually one of our models on Face Off, and she was the really
cool.
elegant, tall African American model.
Mm.
When she would come out on stage, she would wear some of our most exotic things, and she like glides.
Oh.
So the first thing when we started talking about models, I said, I know the perfect model. I
Right,
gotta
right,
call her. I
right.
gotta get a hold
Oh,
of her. So
right.
I called up the guys who used to deal with all the models on Face Off, and I said, that beautiful African American girl, the tall, skinny one that always like wore all the coolest outfits. And she goes, oh yeah, Tasha. And I called her up. I was so happy when she said, oh yeah, I would love to do
Oh,
it. That'd be
nice.
so
I
cool.
can't wait to meet her.
Because and
Awesome.
and what's really great is Lee's sculpt is actually reflecting her facial features,
Yep.
which are so beautiful. So it's going to really.
It's lining up on character so perfect.
Yeah,
so
it's really going to be bitchin'. You're going to love it. I am really excited about it.
Oh, this is going to be a treat for Comic-Con
Yeah.
and for everybody online who gets to see this in performance. So,
She's going to be amazing.
Don't forget to tune in to social media, Court of the Dead and Sideshow, as well as for Cinema Makeup School, so you can see some of the shots of this in-progress project that V and Tom are talking about. Tom, tell us a little bit more about Cleopsis. So we've done a premium format figure and some prints with her. Are there any upcoming, something delving more into her storytelling? What more can we tune in for more about
We're working
Panther?
on the Rise, Conquer, Rule novel trilogy. Now that we have the Demethal novel set aside and it's off in production. So the Rise novel starts and it tells the story of the Alltaker and the sort of mortal Templar Shard. But a major character that plays in that first book is Cleopsis, and we get to kind of see the sort of generation of what happened to her and how that affected her and how that's ultimately affecting the court and the underworld and potentially upsetting the delicate plans of the Alltaker's rebellion against the Celestials. So it's a big role in that regard, and so she's got a lot of punch, and it's just a great character with a lot of tragedy and a lot of things to sort of both be repulsed and kind of, what's the, sympathetic.
Yeah.
Why is that a hard word to combine? Anyway.
She's a very sympathetic villain.
Yeah,
That's
so
why she's one of my
she's
favorite
great
characters.
in that regard. So, and I really look forward to like unspooling that story because there's a lot of neat dimensions to it. So getting this as a charge to kind of kick it off as we're just kind of getting started in the last month or whatnot. This is like a nice piece of serendipity and timing too. So
That's so cool. I'm so
So-
happy.
V, for fans who are going to be tuning in online during Comic-Con and those lucky enough to be at the show to come by your booth and see it in person, how long does a costume makeup like this typically take from start to finish to put together?
Well, I can't really give you a time yet until we get a test makeup going, but what we would like to do is to make it as obviously as quick as possible because we want to get her out there, but I would imagine it's going to take several hours to put her together. I mean, just because of all the different pieces that we have to do.
That's amazing.
Because she's got so much body showing. So I'm sure she'll be in the booth probably 3 to 4 hours getting into makeup.
Whew, that's a marathon.
Yeah, and that's
there's a lot of early wake
yeah.
ups when you're in makeup.
What are some things that fans who might not know much about your industry in watching a cosplay makeup costume like this come together might surprise them, as you see as part of the construction?
There's so many. It's a team. It doesn't just happen. It doesn't just fall into place. You have to get. We started by getting all of our our best graduates, the students that we have now, our staff members. We did a compilation. We went through everything to figure out who would be the best people to do those, and then we started looking outside of that for our costuming and our fabricating. So it's all these different people. We have what's Dave's company?
Evermore Creative.
Yeah, we have Evermore Creations, Dave Powell, who's doing all of our her body armor.
Oh, terrific. That'd
And
be
all
good
of
stuff.
that. And then Chad Ebbett is the costume designer who's doing all the fabric pieces on that. And he's fantastic too. He does commercials and when I looked up his stuff, he had all these really incredible period costumes that he had made. And then I found out he also did crazy stuff for cosplays. He does commercials. He does all these different things.
You
So
brought all the big guns to bear
so
here, didn't you?
we were really lucky to get all these people to come and help us, and it was really cool. I mean, I know that Lee has been wanting to work with Dave's company for a long time now, and this was like the
mentioned that.
perfect thing for everybody to come together. So they'll see it takes teamwork to put these characters together. It doesn't not one person, not 5 people. It takes like 20 people, And we have several, of our students are working on, the sculpting of all the different pieces as well. We have Madison Berger who's doing our headpiece, and she's got 2 other, the Kelsey and Yun, 2 more of our graduates who are also helping her with the sculpting, along with other of our students who actually did all the body casting and the head casting. And I mean, there's just so many things that have to be done even to get to the sculpting part, just all these different pieces and molds you have to make. And
But that's the collaboration that for me is always like where the energy comes from too, because it's sort of an orchestra or an orchestra of talents that you're kind of weaving together to get this to work. I mean, even the design of Cleopsis kind of came about in a similar fashion. There's the few folks, Zane Yarborough, Emil Carfong, and Mark Newman all contributed to kind of helping churn this and round off all the edges or whatnot to create the design overall. And I think when you get to work with the different folks, not only do you get to bounce your talents off of them, but you also get to bounce your ideas. And I think that's what makes a stronger piece,
Yes.
especially when you've kind of you've got the right team and everybody's kind of aiming at the same target, and And it's incredible to note that, I mean, you brought up a lot of the team through the graduate program as well. So
absolutely.
That's wonderful opportunities to be able to get the students to sort of showcase their talents in that regard.
And we have a lot of really talented graduates that have done some amazing stuff. I'm sure you've seen some of our.
Oh, absolutely.
characters
Well, it's great to
walking
hear
around
because I mean, you
Comic-Con.
think with all the sort of the digitizing the things, like makeup still held its spot or whatnot. And
Well, you know what?
takes me back
it's
certainly.
organic,
but-
I mean, makeup is organic. And actors like being in makeup.
Yep.
It helps them act.
Well, that
We bring
physicality
these
of it, right?
characters. Yeah,
So-
it's just like, for instance, when we were doing Pirates, Stellan Skarsgård was only supposed to. He had like 8 stages he went through, and he was only supposed to be in makeup for the first 3 stages. And he went to the production. He said, "I would really like to stay in makeup through the whole thing." And he asked myself and Joel Harlow if we could do that, and we said, "Absolutely." And I said, "It's going to get big and heavy," so
Bring
he
it on.
said, "I don't care, bring it on." And Joel did a great job doing his makeup, and I mean, and it showed, And
Yep.
what was so cool, like a perfect thing you're talking about, digital makeup and all that. We worked really closely with ILM and John Knoll, and he and I really put our heads together, and he took our makeup and made his creatures look like our makeup. So they had the same, it was seamless,
It's just synchronized at that point,
yeah, everybody.
That's where the mediums come together really
Yeah,
nicely,
I mean,
definitely.
when you get somebody who can do what you do digitally, and they did an incredible job. The second pirate film was amazing with all those characters they
Funny, it was
did.
just on the house 2 nights ago.
I'm going to jump in here because I want to make sure we have a ton of audience questions,
Okay.
and I apologize. We're just not going to have time to get to all of them, but I want to thank our fans. There's a huge outpouring of love going on in the chat right now,
Right on.
both for Court and for you, V, personally. People are adding to, and she's worked on this and this and this. They're like filling out your
whole
resume
resume's coming to
for
life.
you here. I'm just saying, Alex says he wanted to say he can't believe how many movies he's seen that you've worked on, including Kingdom of Spiders.
Oh my
it's
God.
so inspiring. We've got some people really calling out some of your more obscure projects that they're very much in love with.
I mean,
so,
nobody said anything about Laser Blast or
Oh.
right?
there's love for that. I want to get to some of these questions. One that we've seen kind of repeatedly is what some of the favorite movies you've worked on or favorite characters you've done. People are
Oh
curious
wow!
about.
I've worked on so many fun movies, and for the longest time, I always said that Lost Boys was my favorite movie I ever did. I mean, for like 20 years, that was my favorite movie. And then then I did Edward Scissorhands, and I mean, I loved Edward. And then then I did the pirate films, and they were pretty fabulous. I mean, what's not to love about
Yeah,
being
no
on a ship
kidding,
full of
right?
pirates, right? And then and then the Hunger Games, watching those kids grow up and just become mega stars, and that was so. I don't know. I've been really fortunate in my career. I've had really fantastic jobs and worked on some really fun movies, and so to pick out, it's kind of like, what's your favorite child, I don't know.
It's Sophie's choice. Folks are also wondering how you got your start in this industry. How did you get started on your career path?
Well, I always knew that I wanted to be a makeup artist ever since I was 5 years old, and people say that's impossible. I said, oh no, it's not, because I just used to sit in front of the TV and watch all those black and white horror films, and my mother said, what's wrong with my daughter? She just wants to watch horror movies all the time. I used to scare the shit out of myself. I'd be I remember I was, we used to have this thing back when I was a little kid. It was like on every day at 5 o'clock, the horror movies would come on, and I would watch them every day. And there was this one that I kept watching, The Beast with 5 Fingers. It's so stupid about this crawling hand. And I scared myself so bad I'd be like creeping around like doors and stuff. And my mother said, "Okay, that's it. You're done. You're not watching that one anymore." I mean, because I was just, but stupid stuff like that, would scare me. But I mean, I'm like watching The Twilight Zone, and I was afraid that I was going to fall through a wall and get stuck in a wall and
those were
stuff.
pretty-
I mean, for little kids to be watching that stuff, they were pretty, But anyway, so I digress. So I always thought that the idea of being able to transform a human being, to turn them into somebody else or something else, was always the coolest thing ever. And when I was growing up, from the time I was like 5 till 12, my next door neighbor was a makeup man, and his daughter was my best friend. So every Halloween, we'd all, I'd always want to be a
100%.
monster and she wanted to be a fairy.
It's a good team up.
But, and I was always told you can't be a makeup artist because you're a girl, and only guys do makeup. And I went, well, how do they know? They don't even wear it. How do they know how to do it?
Seems counterproductive. at all.
So anyway, so I thought, okay, fine. I went to a fashion merchandising school because I like to make costumes too. And I did hair too. I did everything, And then I realized, oh God, these people are nasty. They're a bunch of backstabbers. I don't think I can hang with you guys, And so I actually opened up a vintage clothing store, and I started saving clothes for all these different bands like Led Zeppelin and, all these different bands. And then this local band called Zolar X wanted me to make them costumes, space costumes and stuff. So I
Okay.
gave them crazy haircuts and dyed their hair and stuff. And they said, this is all really great, but we want big heads and pointed ears. And I said, boom. I said, I don't know how to do
waiting
it,
for
but
this.
I'm going to go find out right now. So I started going, we had been going to all the science fiction conventions, and back then they had the Star Trek convention in San Diego. This is, like a million years ago. So I went down there, and I met these guys. They were walking around in these Planet of the Apes costumes. Perfect makeups, costumes, everything. And I said, hey, you guys, where did you get those masks? And they looked at me very indignantly, and they said, oh, these aren't masks, these are makeups. And I said, even better, where'd you get them? And they said, we made them. And I said, can you teach me how to do that? And they looked at each other and they said, but you're a girl. And I said, I know, isn't it fantastic? And so I just started hanging out with these guys, and I'd drive up to their garage on weekends in Santa Barbara. And, I fell in love with one of the guys, Steve Neill, who taught me how to make monsters and put them on, and didn't like being on set, but I did, and that's how it all started.
Wow.
Thank you, Steve Neill.
That's awesome.
Right on.
So that's how I got started. I kind of went in a totally backdoor way. I don't even know. I met Fred Phillips at one of the shows, Fred did the original Star Trek TV show and a lot of the Outer Limits and some stuff. And so Fred was kind of my mentor when Steve and I were starting out. We would get jobs to make stuff on union shows, and we couldn't go, so I would give it to, we'd call up Fred and say, hey, Fred, can you go put this on? He goes, sure, kids, we'll do it, So he would go and do that. And
that's
then
nice.
when I all of a sudden I got in the union, there was a period in the mid-'70s where they had to open up the union because they didn't have enough people in it. And I got in, I was considered a 30-day wonder because I didn't have to take the test because they just had to let people in if you had the right amount of days, right? So I was day checking on 8 is enough and Love Boat and shit.
Oh man.
I was like, okay, fine. I even day checked on Dynasty. They didn't know what to They didn't know what to do with me, so they put me in the back room with a bag of sponges and some pencils and told me to, cut these sponges and sharpen pencils. They didn't think I knew how to do it.
Right.
And the old guy that was running the show, I came back about an hour later, and he said, you already did them all? And I said, oh yeah. See, he didn't know that I had been hanging out with some people that knew what they were, the old timers that taught me how to do this stuff. But then one day I'm at home and I get a phone call from Fred, and he said, hey, V. He said, you worked with Bill Shatner, right? And I said, yeah, I did a show with Bill, and we've sort of stayed in touch. And he goes, well, he said, they're going to make a Star Trek movie. He said, do you think you'd want to come and work on that with me? And I said, what?
That's how that question's framed.
I almost had a
to do
heart
something
attack.
really cool?
I was in my kitchen. I almost had a heart attack. I went, holy shit, yes, I want to come. And he said, well, I thought it would be kind of nice for him to have a familiar face, a pretty girl making him up. So he said, great. So I went and did the first Star Trek film.
Wow.
Star Trek The Motion Picture was my first big film on a movie set with,
awesome.
Robert Wise directing. I mean, come on. I mean, holy smoke,
That is
It
fantastic.
was such a big deal. I mean, it was months too. It was months long.
Yeah.
I mean, Fred let me do all the Klingons. I basically designed all the
just
hair on all
dived
the
right
new
in and
Klingons.
went-
Oh yeah, I just
yeah.
went cuckoo. And all of our friends were working on all the guys who taught me how to do makeup. They were all sculpting all this stuff in some off-site place where and it was amazing, And I never stopped. I never looked back after that.
That's sort of you knew your dream and you went after
Yeah,
it. That's
I-
the best story ever.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but I did. I kind of just pushed my
That's
way in.
crazy and perseverance. I think they go together. That's
Well, and
at least what
also, there
my
was-
take
I think
on
it's
it all.
something you guys have in common.
Well, there wasn't a lot of a lot of people doing it back then either, you know. So it wasn't like I had to fight my way through a sea of people that were doing the same
Right.
thing. There was, I could count on
It
one
was sort of
hand.
a secret art, right? I mean,
Yeah, I could count on one hand the people that knew how to do that. And I mean, when I got into the union, well, I was one of the first women, number one, but I was one of the first people, you know, I was one of the first 5 to 10 people that even did prosthetics for camera. You know,
Yeah.
it was crazy, you know. I mean, the only other guys that had done it were the you know, the artists that had done Planet of the Apes, and then they had, you know, taught a lot of the older
Yeah, 'cause,
makeup artists
I mean,
how
you
to
think
do
about all
it.
the productions going through the 70s and such, yeah. I mean,
So there was just a handful of us, so it was pretty cool.
God, what a great time and place, huh?
Yeah, I feel I'm very lucky. I was in the right place at the right time. I just happened to be pushy enough at the right moments in my life.
Well, it
to
definitely
get-
takes a bit of that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, I hate to bring this to an end because I want to keep listening to more of your stories
We
and
only,
ask you guys
I
more
only,
questions.
I'm
but
sorry,
we're-
you guys. I only
we're
answered
at
one
time.
question. I'm a chatterbox.
No, we had 2, and we got like amazing stories out of that. So
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. No, are you kidding? Thank
weird
you
day,
for
for
sharing with
goodness.
us. That was incredible. I'm excited to you know, talk to you a little bit more as we go on our tour, and hopefully we'll get some more of your stories a little bit later that we can share with our
Okay,
fans.
I'd be happy to.
But
Like I
thank
said,
you.
I'm a chatterbox. Can't help
No,
myself.
we love it. I think we could sit here all
That makes the
afternoon. Thank you both for joining us.
You
And
bet.
thank you
And
for having
sharing
me.
your
Oh, our
stories
pleasure.
I'm
with
so
us.
happy to be here. It's so
Oh,
cool.
it's a
This is the
delight to
coolest
have you
place
today.
on earth, you guys. You've got to come here and check this place out. Oh my God. It's like I died and went to heaven.
The
Oh my
light's forming
gosh.
now, I guess.
Thank you. Well, we're excited to go and visit Cinema Makeup School too and
Yeah.
learn more about you
Oh, no
guys.
doubt.
Fantastic.
Thank you all for tuning in. Please check out Cinema Makeup School on social media and follow us on Court of the Dead to see more of this Cleopsis project as it evolves. And of course, you know, if you're at Comic-Con, make sure you go by the Cinema Makeup School booth to see it happen live and in person. Thanks for joining us. We're going to take a short video break, and then we've got some more exciting segments for you this morning. Thank you.
Welcome back, guys. I'm Josh S. This is Josh E.G. And we've got some awesome figures right here, right now to check out. Are you ready?
Man, I have been waiting to check out these Hot Toys figures all episode long. So let's dive in.
Sweet. That's what I want to hear. All right, so first up, we have the Iron Man Mark L accessories. Woo! These are really cool. Also, you can check these out at Sideshow/Iron Man accessories. Let's check them out. First up, we've got the battering ram.
All right, I did my test. I think I know which ones these accessories are. There they are. They're the battering rams. Check them out.
Those look sweet. Also, guys, I forgot to mention, we do have the Iron Man Mark L here to kind of test out and show you how these all of these accessories
Ve
work.
Neill and Tony Stark in the same building at the same time.
I know. I mean, what a treat.
What an episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Super cool. So that was just the battering ram. Next, we've got the power mallet.
There we go.
Look at
Power
that bad
mallet.
boy. That's the noise
Doing my
it
best Vanna White
Oh,
for all
okay.
the folks at home.
That's the noise that makes a boosh noise. So
Is it?
I think so.
All right.
That's what I think.
I believe you.
Okay. Next, we've got the guitar.
Which is on Mr. Tony Stark's hand right
Yes.
now.
Looks awesome. That comes with it. We've also got the energy blade.
There we go.
That blade is pulsing. Nice pulsing blue. We've also got the hand blade right there.
Switch that one out for this one.
Nice. That is huge. You could do some serious damage with that.
Probably we busted this out every Friday the 13th. You know
I
what
think
I mean?
so,
A little,
yeah.
little machete action there.
I like it. I like it. We've got the foot thruster.
Not just a CrossFit movement. There it is, the foot thruster.
Woo! That's some serious
Chasing after
boost.
Thanos in the Black Order, you need the foot thruster.
Gonna need that. We've also got the foot clamps. Those are sick. Those got some serious grip. Wow, those are awesome. We've got the elliptical shield, and this is gonna repulse some serious damage.
So if you saw Infinity War, definitely saw this bad boy brought out a lot.
Yes,
so,
a ton. And then last but not least, we have the Gauntler restraint.
Oh, this one is my favorite. So
Yes.
again,
Infinity War fans.
you have a Thanos figure and you don't want it to snap you out of existence. You put this bad boy on the hand and the Infinity Gauntlet is stuck in one position. So check that out. Look how cool that is.
Wow, that looks awesome. This exclusive version will include a battle-damaged Mark L mask. Let's check that out.
There it is.
Wow, that is
I think I'm passing the accessory test so far.
I think you're killing it. Doing well, doing well. Featured with this, again, is the Iron Man Mark L, which you can find available at side.show/HT Mark L. And again, if you want to check out these accessories, go to side.show/Iron Man accessories. They're available for pre-order now. Let's head over to the Wakanda Throne. Next one up, guys.
There it is.
Super cool. This is a movie-accurate 6-scale Wakanda Throne collectible, and it stands approximately 32.5 centimeters in height. Not kilometers, that'd be ridiculous. Centimeters in height, and it's 19 centimeters in width. It features an extra high-back peacock chair that is beautifully combined with woven rattan ends. Check those out. It's majestic. It also is decorated with unique graphical script and finished with metallic painting and intricate natural wood grain texture, which has been woven into the seat. You can see those displayed there. This is available at side.show/Wakanda Throne, so go check that out. Also, again, it's featured with T'Chaka, which you can find available at side.show/T'Chaka HT. HT's for Hot Toys. It also is featured with T'Challa, which you can find available at side.show/T'Challa HT. Kind of a tongue twister. Bear with me, we'll get through it.
And let me just say something. Hot Toys, we're on to you. I know what you guys did. You got your hands on some pin particles. You threw them on the chair. You shrunk it down to size. I mean, this thing is detailed to the max. It looks like the actual throne. So
That's like a company.
Oh, we're not supposed to say? Okay, I'm sorry, Hot Toys. Secret's out.
Anyways, we're moving on to the Spider-Man Advanced Suit. This is awesome. Check this bad boy out. It's a newly developed mask head sculpt with 3 pairs of interchangeable eyepieces that can create numerous combinations of Spider-Man expressions. So you're gonna wanna try those out. Oh, let's get the accessories. Oh, you know what? We don't have those right here with us, but that's okay, we're gonna go over them anyways. So we've got we've got 1 pair of fists. Those come with it, you can take somebody out. A pair of open hands. Those are pretty sweet. It also comes with 1 pair of web shooting hands.
Zip, thwip.
I like that.
You get it. You get it.
Those are good.
They get it at home.
And it comes with 3 pairs of gesture hands. So if you want to throw up the peace sign or the deuces, however you want to do that one, those come available as well, which is pretty awesome. It has 1 hand for cobweb swinging. He's going to swing to the rescue. 1 hand for holding a web bomb. Throws it, explodes, web everywhere. That's super fun. We got 1 right hand for holding accessories. So he can hold all the different accessories that come with him. We've got, let's go to the accessories. In the accessories, it comes with 5 strings of spiderweb in different shapes and lengths, which are attachable. We've already got one of the spiderwebs attached here. You can see it, it shoots out of his hand. We've also got a spiderweb effect, which is right there. It also comes with a spider drone. That is really cool. A little drone guy that comes with him so he can float around and you do some reconnaissance. That's pretty sweet. We've got a spider plush. That's awesome. Comes with 2 trip mines, not just 1, because if you missed the dude on the first one, hopefully he trips on the second one. We've also got 2 web bombs, which are attachable. He can throw those. We've got 2 Spidey signals. We've got 1 vulture jammer. That's awesome, so vulture doesn't know where you're at. And 1, is that right? He comes with a smartphone.
It's right here. Spidey smartphone.
Hey,
never
Spider-Man's
know.
got to make calls too, you know?
Look at that thing.
Spider-Man.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, yes, Kevin Feige. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm on set. I'll have to call you back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty sweet. We've also got 1 spider sense and 1 piece of web sticker. That's really cool. This is a specially designed Spider-Man dynamic figure stand with a game logo, character nameplate, and character backdrop also comes included. So those are really, really spectacular. This model is available at side.show/advanced suit. Wow, that was a lot of information.
It was a lot of information, but these toys, these hot toys are awesome. And
Yes.
if you want to scratch that figure itch, you know exactly where to go.
Yes, exactly. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will learn what this week's Let Your Kid Sideshow will be. That is going to be awesome, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hey!
All right, guys,
We're back.
welcome back. It is now time for the Let Your Kid Sideshow Challenge. Last week, we asked you for your best Golden Girls cosplay for a chance to win a Dusty Deadpool. And let's take a look at some of our favorite entries, shall we?
Let's do it.
Here we go. John N. with the whole gang. Nice
whole
job,
crew.
John N. Ooh, little Sophia. Who doesn't love Sophia? Good job there, Heather K. Haley M. Going Blanche.
Nice, that's very Blanche.
All right, and Adam V. Nicely done, everyone. All right, well, there are some of our entries, but the winner of the Dusty Deadpool goes to Carla R. Carla
Woo!
R. from Soledad, California. Congratulations, Carla. Again, this week's Let Your Sideshow giveaway for the sold out Hot Toys Arkham Asylum 6-scale figure. There it is.
Check out
there
this
are
bad boy.
over 30 ways to enter, including checking out Sideshow's brand new Facebook group for statue collectors, and it is called Let Your Statue Sideshow. Members can share their collections with each other. Of course, they can learn about the artists and creators, project managers right here at Sideshow. You can see some behind the scenes videos and sneak peeks. And then of course, you get some previews, some early announcements, exclusive discounts, promotions, and giveaways. So yeah, you're gonna love that Facebook group.
But guys, Check it out. To get the most possible chance to win, enter our Kid Sideshow Challenge. Record a short video of yourself telling a joke while doing your best Joker impression. Now, I'm going to say maniacal laughs are a thing of beauty and pretty specific to the Joker. So if you want to throw some of those in, that'll get you some good points with us. Also, post on your own social media account and tag us so that we can find you. Making sure to use the 2 hashtags, hashtag Let Your Kid Sideshow and hashtag Joker, so we can find your video because we do want to see it. Also, post on Instagram. That's 1,000 bonus entries. 1,000. Post on Twitter. Another 1,000 bonus entries. Bajing, bajing. Post on Facebook. You guessed it. Another 1,000 bonus entries. Don't forget to leave your videos up for 1 full week. Or your entries don't count. So you're going to want to make sure you leave those up for a full week. Come back here next week to see some of our favorite cosplays and to see the winner being announced. To register your entries, again, visit side.show/LYKS Arkham Joker. Good luck, everyone.
All right, guys.
All right.
That'll just about do it.
I guess so. That's about
Good
it.
job today, Josh. Yes. We had an amazing show. Want to thank our guest, the legendary Ve Neill, Tom Gilliland. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Mike Tolentino, and of course our co-host Anna Vansley, and my man next to me, Josh Shada. We have had you guys have been an awesome audience.
So
we
much
really
fun.
appreciate it.
So much fun.
Thank you for joining us here today. Next week it starts our Comic-Con, our online Comic-Con, and you're not going to want to miss it. All right, so stay tuned to our blog and our social media channels for all the information. Join us next Tuesday for Sideshow and Tell, and we will see you next week right here, Sideshow Live. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to let your geek side show.
Yes.
See you, everybody.
See ya.